Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we are doing another speed build. I am going to be attempting to do the ABC or alphabet build challenge. Um, so I will be building a different build for every single letter of the alphabet. I'm going to be doing them as capital letters. I have seen some people do them with lowercase letters. The first time I ever saw this challenge, I'm not sure if she actually created the challenge herself or if she was inspired by someone else. I'm not sure. But I saw Dr. Ashley do this challenge a very long time ago. It was probably last year, honestly. Time just flies by. But I thought it was really cool and I wanted to try to do it myself. And I actually, if I'm being completely honest, did start doing this challenge once before, but I literally only did like A and then like half of B. And I really was struggling with B. And so I just kind of stopped, ended up doing it. And I also was trying to do it without like doing it as like a speed build. I was kind of like trying to talk through it all and everything. And it was very difficult for me for some reason. And so now I'm gonna give it another try. I might try to do some where they're not all speed builds and I'm kind of like talking through the build, but I think most of them will probably be speed builds because I'm just super indecisive, and so I feel like it takes me longer whenever I'm like trying to talk through my building process, and also it would take forever to edit and all of that because I'm sometimes I can build things quickly and sometimes it's just not it. So, um, we're gonna try our hand at maybe possibly doing a little bit of both, but also probably we're gonna stick mainly with speed builds because it's just easier for me. But for this A build, I kind of just put a bunch of different aesthetics that start with A in a little wheel spin situation and spun the wheel, and I actually got Animecore. So I at first was like, oh my gosh, what the heck am I going to do? But then I thought about it for a minute, and I've actually been watching, I watch a lot of reaction YouTube stuff. And recently I've been watching people reacting to Demon Slayer, which I think I've only seen the first 3 seasons, but it was fresh on my mind. And so I was like, okay, the outside could kind of be Demon Slayer vibe. So I went for like a more dark exterior. And then if you watch Demon Slayer, you know one of the things that they use to kind of d- deter demons is wisteria. So that's why I put wisteria all over the build because I was thinking Demon Slayer vibes, and so that's kind of why it has a more kind of traditional Japanese kind of look for the exterior because I was just kind of inspired by Demon Slayer on the inside or on the outside. As far as the inside, I figured what I would do just to kind of incorporate the whole anime style was to do a lot of pictures and posters and stuff like that. And I also kind of incorporated like kind of like gaming kind of vibes and stuff to it as well because I just didn't know what else to like kind of put in there to give off like anime vibes. Obviously, anime doesn't necessarily correlate with gamer, but or I shouldn't say correlate, connect completely with gamer because you don't have to be a gamer to like anime. You don't have to like anime and also be a gamer. But I just figured the two can kind of function well together because I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to go for more of like a darker theme because obviously I went with like a really dark theme for the exterior with being inspired by like Demon Slayer and stuff like that. But then like not all anime is super like dark and stuff like that. So I was trying to figure out like a good in between because I also didn't want the build to be extremely dark either. So I was trying to figure out different ways to incorporate more color and whatnot. So I kind of go initially just doing some like blue accents, but I do eventually change that to add in a little bit more color. I think like it's still definitely more of a dark kind of build, but I didn't love how dark it was towards the end of the build. So I do kind of try and add in a little bit more color and whatnot to it. The kitchen I kept pretty simple because I figured, it doesn't really matter with the kitchen. I was going to try to use the new kitchen or the fridge, at least that came with, I don't even know what the kit's called, but whatever that kit was that came with like a bunch of like kitchen stuff and clutter and everything. I was gonna try to use that fridge because I felt like it had like different posters and like little pictures and stuff on it, but I felt like it was too childish, so I didn't include it. But like that was kind of the vibes that I was trying to go for, was to have like little like artsy bits and pieces also added into like the decorations and stuff for the build. Um, so that way it could add color, but then also I feel like, that can kind of give off like slightly anime vibes and everything. So as you can see, at first I kind of go with like dark gray walls, and I was kind of trying to figure out a good like what's it called? Just like a statement wall, but I just didn't like the way that it was looking. Um and I still, at least at the time, was trying to go for, like I said, like that more dark kind of tone. And for the little middle section, I added more wisteria to that section and then kind of just made that into like a planty kind of area. And then I went on the gallery and just searched anime to find like some like custom anime pictures and stuff that people have uploaded. And so that's kind of what I used. I honestly just stuck with some of the animes that I know. I don't watch that much anime. I watch like a little bit here and there. So I just stuck with those because I felt like they were a safe option. I did add in like a little bit of stuff that I didn't really know, just so it could like suit the vibes and stuff. But for the most part, stuck with what I knew. So I just put a few of the pictures and stuff like along some of the walls. So I put some behind the couch, some near the little gaming area, and then like on one of the walls in the room. Because I didn't want to go too overboard with the posters and pictures and stuff like that. But I wanted it to like kind of help fill up the space and like add some decorations. And that's kind of the main bit of the anime core that, I kind of included into the build. Could it have been a little bit better? Yeah, probably. But I feel like that's such a hard concept to do in The Sims because I feel like you can go so many different directions. Obviously, I'm sure you could probably tell in that in the living room or like where the couch is. I put the rug in and it's like sticking out the wall. I didn't realize that until like way later after like I was trying to do screenshots of the build. So I do correct that eventually. But I don't think I actually ended up recording it because like I said, I was just trying to take screenshots by the time that I actually noticed that I misplaced the carpet or the rug, whatever. So I do fix it though. And I was just trying to figure out what to do for an entryway kind of situation because I always struggle with kind of filling in some of like the empty spaces. So what I did was I put a little window in the little like plant room kind of situation. And at first I wanted to use like a table that was like a fun color and everything, but then I ended up just going for like the plant kind of end table situation just because I felt like since it's looking into the plant room anyways, might as well kind of keep up with that kind of vibes. And then for the bedroom, obviously the bedroom is super small, but like that's how pretty much all of these builds are going to be because they're obviously all going to be like tiny homes and everything. But I decided to go with like a fun bed, and this is where I was like, okay, we need to add in a little bit more color. So I struggled. I was like going back and forth. for a while trying to figure out what color to kind of incorporate, but then I decided to just go with orange since I was trying to figure out like what color to pick from the bed, and I was like, I probably shouldn't do blue because there's already a lot of blue, so I decided to go with orange. And then I decided to use some of the Void Critter um posters and decorations because I felt like that kind of gave that anime kind of vibe that we needed. And then I did incorporate some of the what is it called, the snowy escape decorations as well, just because I felt like obviously we are kind of going in a Japanese kind of style as well, at least especially with the exterior. And then I honestly never really utilized this too often, but I figured I would do a little clothing rack situation as far as our wardrobe kind of situation instead of having like a dresser or anything like that, because it is a super small room. So I honestly don't even know if they could even like fit through the door. I did not play test this or anything. I think that they should because I really tried to squeeze that in there, but I just used the high school years decorations and stuff, are not the decorations, but the rack and like the clothing and stuff like that. Because it also adds in like more color and stuff like I wanted to add in. And at this point, obviously, I have all the main furniture and the main living areas and everything done. And then I moved on to the bathroom, and the bathroom was another area where I was like, okay, how much color can we add in? And this is also when I decided of like, okay, it's a little too dark for me personally. So I decided to go for like a lighter gray in the main living area and everything. And then for the bathroom, I kind of was just like, okay, we went with pink, so we're just gonna go full pink in the bathroom for the most part, as well as like the tub, and then I just threw in of the stuff. And I also, again, hope that the bathroom that they can get through and use everything, but I honestly wasn't like making it a big priority for the actual functionality. I was just going for the vibes and the style um with this build in general. So I decided to add in, since I kind of did like that little gamer kind of area, I decided to try and add in more of, what is it called? I don't really, the cozy gamer. Yeah, Little Simsies cozy gamer kit. I added in a few more bits and pieces from there because at this point, like I said, we're just cluttering at this point. We're just making it more of a vibe. But I feel like I talked about this in my last speed build, but like it's always a struggle for me a little bit to kind of find like a good balance of like what's too much clutter and what's like just enough clutter, of like too little, too much, and everything. And so I've kind of been trying to go a little less than what I feel like I always need to, because I feel like have to add in like a bunch of clutter and stuff sometimes, and then it like is a little bit of a struggle for me, I'm not gonna lie. I added in just like a little like pieces here and there, but I think I did utilize a lot of the cozy gamer kit stuff because I really haven't used that kit much, because I'm gonna be honest, like I said, I think again I said this in my last speed build, with all the updates and all the crazy stuff going on with the Sims lately, I really haven't been playing that much lately. So a lot of stuff that I did like get in the recent kind of weeks and months and everything, I really haven't tried and utilized, because it was like I would get it and then I kind of just wasn't using it or wasn't really playing the game in general. So a lot of the stuff I haven't really tried out just yet. And so now is the time, I guess, to kind of look in and try some of these things. So there's probably a bunch of stuff that I have from different kits and stuff that I've gotten recently, or kind of recently, but not really recently, that I really don't know. So for the roofing, there were a little, because it's obviously a very angular kind of situation. I kind of just try to put in like plants to cover up the little open sections. It's not perfect, it's not hiding it perfectly, but it was just really hard because now that they have the new roofing slot things, I feel like it made it harder to kind of place things, because now the plants actually do want to be on the roof and everything. And then I also went for like a curved roof situation, so I feel like that didn't help either. But I think they covered it enough. And at this point, I'm going through the one part that I always end up forgetting. I always forget to kind of change the lights. So I went in and just added in some like nice mood, fun lighting and whatnot to the build. I really like how I utilized the little all I can think of is like fairy lights, but like the little like string lights. There we go. In the bedroom because I feel like that's just like such a vibe. And again, using some more of the cozy gamer stuff and just putting that all throughout the house basically, because I feel like that was, like I said, that was the only other kind of thing that I could feel like would kind of maybe give kind of anime vibes. I don't know, that was just in my head. But I'm kind of just doing some last minute touches in here and there, so I will go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to continuing this alphabet challenge. I think it will definitely be a challenge for me personally, but I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.